3 years ago, this family paid $11,000 for a brand new roof. 30-year shingles, professional installation, full warranty. Last spring it started leaking, and the contractor said the warranty was void. The shingles failed because the attic wasn't properly ventilated, which voids the warranty, which the homeowner didn't know, and the installer never mentioned. One small detail, $11,000 gone. I started pulling on that thread, and what I found is one of the most fascinating engineering stories I've ever come across. The roof didn't fail by accident. It failed exactly the way it was designed to fail. My name's John, and for the last 4 months I've been obsessed with American roofing. I've talked to structural engineers, material scientists, contractors, and insurance adjusters. 80% of American homes are covered with asphalt shingles, 4 billion square feet installed every year. It's the most common exterior surface in the country, and almost nobody knows how it works. So here's what we're going to figure out together. Why 30-year shingles last 15, why 90% of leaks have nothing to do with shingles, and why one decision in 1992 rewrote the rules. It's 6 in the morning, 42 degrees. By 2 in the afternoon, your roof surface will hit 150 degrees. That swing happens every day, 365 times a year for 20 years. This is called thermal cycling. It's not a defect, it's physics. Asphalt expands at 3 times the rate of the wood underneath it. Every day, your roof is fighting itself. After about 5,000 thermal cycles, roughly 14 years, the bond between asphalt and fiberglass starts to break down. The shingle doesn't crack all at once. It's a slow fracture, almost invisible until it isn't. The roofing industry knows this. They've known since the 1960s. The science isn't controversial. What's interesting is how they responded, not by changing the material, but by changing the warranty. Let me take you back to 1835, the first American patent for asphalt roofing. But it didn't take off for 100 years. Before World War II, most American roofs were cedar shake, beautiful, natural, and could last 50 years. Then the war ended. 14 million soldiers came home, needing houses fast and cheap. The housing boom of the 50s didn't have time for cedar shake. The question nobody asked was, good enough for how long? Here's what a 30-year shingle actually is. A fiberglass mat saturated with asphalt, then coated with ceramic granules. The granules protect from UV radiation and add weight so the shingle lies flat. The 30-year rating is a laboratory rating based on accelerated weathering tests. The lab can replicate 30 years in about 18 months. But the lab can't replicate your specific roof. Your roof's real lifespan depends on climate, attic ventilation, shingle color, layers underneath, pitch angle, and direction faced. The 30-year number assumes perfect conditions. Your conditions are never perfect. Let's talk about ventilation, because this is the thing nobody tells you, and it's the thing that kills more roofs than anything else. Your attic needs to breathe. In summer, an unventilated attic can reach 160 degrees. At that temperature, the asphalt softens, the granules loosen, the bond between layers weakens. You can't see it happening from the ground. The building code requires 1 square foot of ventilation for every 300 square feet of attic space. That's the minimum. Most builders install the minimum. In hot climates, the minimum isn't enough. The perfect your house dry. And that word, sacrificial, is the key to understanding how smart roofing actually works. The best systems don't try to be perfect. They're designed with layers that fail in a specific order, protecting what matters most. Think about it like a car's crumple zone. The front is designed to collapse in a crash, absorbing energy before it reaches the passenger. The crumple zone fails on purpose. That failure saves lives. The sacrificial layers of a roof, from outermost to innermost. Granules protect asphalt, asphalt protects the fiberglass mat, ice shield protects the deck protects the structure. Each layer exists to fail before the next. But here's where things get complicated, because not all failure is engineered. Some failure is just negligence dressed up as physics. And the most common place that happens is flashing. Flashing is the metal that seals joints where your roof meets something vertical. A chimney, a wall, a skylight, a vent pipe. These joints are impossible to waterproof with shingles alone. 90% of residential roof leaks originate at the flashing, not the shingles. The thing everyone worries about causes 10% of leaks. The thing nobody thinks about causes the other 90. Why does flashing fail? 3 reasons. Corrosion, since metal rusts and salt accelerates everything. Thermal expansion, since metal and wood expand differently. And installation, since flashing must be installed in a very specific way. The most common flashing failure I see is the chimney. A chimney has to be sealed on 4 sides, and most contractors just use caulk. Caulk lasts 5 to 7 years. The roof is supposed to last 30. Now I want to take you to August 24th, 1992, South Florida. Hurricane Andrew makes landfall. Category 5, 175-mile-per-hour winds. The system is ridge and soffit ventilation. Cool air enters through soffits at the lowest point. Warm air exits through the ridge at the peak. The whole attic breathes like a lung. Here's what actually happens in most houses. The vents are installed correctly, but the insulation company blows in fiberglass and blocks half the soffit vents. The system is there, it just doesn't work, and nobody checks. I talked to a roofing inspector with 30 years of experience. He told me, in 20 years of inspections, I've seen maybe 15% of homes with fully functional attic ventilation. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. I want to talk about ice dams, the most beautifully perverse engineering problem I've ever encountered. They're caused by something doing its job too well. Picture a house in Minnesota in January. The attic is warm because heat escapes from the living space below. That warmth melts snow on the upper roof. Water runs down, reaches the cold eave, and freezes. Now you have a wall of ice at the edge of your roof. More meltwater backs up, finds its way under the shingles, seeps into your attic, your insulation, down your walls. You don't find out until the ceiling stains. The insidious part? Ice dams are worse in well-insulated houses. Good insulation plus bad attic design equals a guaranteed ice dam every winter. The solution is counterintuitive. You want your attic to be cold, the same temperature as outside, so snow melts uniformly from the sun and runs off without freezing at the edge. This is why northern states require ice and water shield, a self-adhering membrane under the shingles near the eave. It's not waterproofing, it's a sacrificial layer designed to get wet and still keep your house dry. And that word, sacrificial, is the key to understanding how smart roofing actually works. The best systems don't try to be perfect. They're designed with layers that fail in a specific order, protecting what matters most. Think about it like a car's crumple zone. The front is designed to collapse in a crash, absorbing energy before it reaches the passenger. The crumple zone fails on purpose. That failure saves lives. The sacrificial layers of a roof, from outermost to innermost. Granules protect asphalt, asphalt protects the fiberglass mat, ice shield protects the deck protects the structure. Each layer exists to fail before the next. But here's where things get complicated, because not all failure is engineered. Some failure is just negligence dressed up as physics. And the most common place that happens is flashing. Flashing is the metal that seals joints where your roof meets something vertical. A chimney, a wall, a skylight, a vent pipe. These joints are impossible to waterproof with shingles alone. 90% of residential roof leaks originate at the flashing, not the shingles. The thing everyone worries about causes 10% of leaks. The thing nobody thinks about causes the other 90. Why does flashing fail? 3 reasons. Corrosion, since metal rusts and salt accelerates everything. Thermal expansion, since metal and wood expand differently. And installation, since flashing must be installed in a very specific way. The most common flashing failure I see is the chimney. A chimney has to be sealed on 4 sides, and most contractors just use caulk. Caulk lasts 5 to 7 years. The roof is supposed to last 30. Now I want to take you to August 24th, 1992, South Florida. Hurricane Andrew makes landfall. Category 5, 175-mile-per-hour winds. After the storm, engineers from the Army Corps and FEMA went through the destruction. They found something that changed American building codes forever. The roofs weren't failing because of wind speed. They were failing because of nails. Florida code required 1 3/4-inch nails. Inspectors found contractors using 1-inch nails instead, 3/4 of an inch too short. In Category 5 winds, those nails pulled straight out, and when the deck went, everything went. The investigation also found the nail guns were set to the wrong pressure. Some nails cut straight through the shingle, others barely held. The same crew could produce wildly inconsistent work, and nobody was checking. After Hurricane Andrew, Florida rewrote its building codes. Stricter fastener inspection, impact-resistant shingles in coastal zones, specific sheathing requirements. Every building that survived Andrew became a blueprint. But the lessons of Andrew didn't travel north easily, because roofing codes are set by states and counties, not the federal government. Florida changed. Most of the rest of the country didn't. Katrina in 2005 repeated the story. Now let's talk about something nobody in the roofing industry wants to discuss: the warranty. That piece of paper that comes with your 30-year shingles. I want to walk you through what it actually says. Most shingle warranties are prorated, meaning coverage shrinks every year. By year 15, you're getting about 40% of material cost, not labor. And labor is 80% of the cost of a new roof. The warranty also has conditions: minimum roof pitch, adequate attic ventilation defined specifically, no more than 2 layers of shingles, installation by a certified contractor. Most homeowners don't know any of this. One roofing attorney told me he's never seen a manufacturer lose a warranty claim in court. The conditions are so specific and so rarely met, there's always a technical reason to deny a claim. The warranty is real. It's just almost impossible to collect on. And here's the plot twist I wasn't expecting. An engineer who helped develop modern shingle formulations told me, almost confessing, the 30-year shingle is a marketing term. We've known it doesn't last that long since the 80s. He went on, there are materials that last longer: metal, slate, clay tile, but they cost more up front, and American homeowners don't want to pay more for something that pays off in 30 years. So the industry gave them what they wanted to hear. This is where the engineering gets genuinely interesting. Metal roofing lasts 50 to 70 years. It reflects heat instead of absorbing it, doesn't shed granules, doesn't get ice dams, and outperforms asphalt by every metric in hurricane testing. A metal roof costs 2 to 3 times more up front, but over 50 years it's actually cheaper. 1 metal roof versus 2 asphalt replacements. The math isn't close, but most homeowners think in monthly payments, not 50-year windows. There's a fascinating regional story here too. In Florida, after Andrew, metal roofing adoption jumped in coastal counties because insurance companies started offering 20 to 30% discounts for impact-resistant roofing. And there's something quietly brilliant happening in the industry right now. Synthetic roofing materials designed to mimic slate or cedar shake, carrying legitimate 40 and 50-year flat warranties, tested in conditions asphalt hasn't been. The 3 things that actually kill roofs. Not the marketing version, the real version. Number 1, ventilation failure. Number 2, flashing failure. Number 3, deferred maintenance. The shingles are the least of your problems. Let me tell you about the $500 inspection, the most underutilized tool in home ownership. A qualified inspector, not a contractor trying to sell you a new roof, can catch problems before they become a $15,000 disaster. The homeowner I started this story with called me after this investigation. In 15 years of owning the house, they'd never had a roof inspection. The problems with their ventilation were visible. A $500 inspection would have caught it. Here's what to look for from the ground right now. Curling edges, dark streaks running down the slope, missing granules in your gutters, shingles that look cupped or blistered. Any of these? Call an inspector, not a contractor. Walk around your house and look at where your chimney meets the roof. Is there just caulk? No metal flashing? Is the flashing rusted? Is there any gap? This is where your money is leaking. Your gutters are part of your roofing system. A clogged gutter causes water to back up under shingles, rots your fascia board, and can saturate the soffit vents you need for ventilation. Treat your gutters and roof as one system. Ask your next contractor, what's the ventilation ratio of my attic? What flashing are you using at the chimney and sidewalls? Will you guarantee labor separately from the manufacturer's warranty? Think about it exactly never, until it's leaking. The engineering behind a good roof is genuinely elegant. The sacrificial layers, the ventilation system, the flashing details. Done right, it's a system that manages is defined by the warranty card, not the physics. But now you know the difference. You know what ventilation ratio to ask for. You know to check your flashing before your shingles. You know the 30-year warranty is a negotiation, not a guarantee. And maybe most importantly, you know that your roof is talking to you all the time, in curling edges and dark streaks and granules in the gutter. It's been trying to tell you something for years. You just didn't know the language. Until now. What's next? I'm going to Florida. I want to see what buildings built to post-Andrew codes actually look like, and why the rest of the country still hasn't caught up.